hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Okay, so we're back. Most zoos want to take care of all of their
Yes.
animals. They truly care about the welfare of their animals. So there's a zoo in Denmark that says they want to respect the food chain, the natural food chain of life, and therefore they're asking anybody who has small pets such as rabbits or guinea pigs, whatever, that they want to give away or have to give away for whatever reason. And if they're healthy, to please donate them to the zoo. They will then euthanize them and feed them to their predators.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
This really upset me when I saw it added to the list for today. I cannot imagine. I've had many a hamster, guinea pig, hedgehog growing up. I cannot get over, oh, I'm going to take Geraldine the hamster and I'm tired of having him. So I'm going to donate him to die.
I know. Well, that's also how
As a
I feel
snack.
about like our food lots, like our,
Right.
dairy cows, not dairy cows, but like cattle farms
Yeah.
and everything. That's exactly how I feel. Like you're born to die. They actually they breed mice and so forth that are born to die because then they're fed to snakes.
Feeder mice.
Yeah. I mean, that makes me sad too. I mean,
But can you imagine, like, because there's lots of parents who hate having this pet because it's settled up on mom, this whole cage of hamsters, and so can you imagine the conversations? Okay, so today we're gonna take the guinea pig to it'll be a better place. They're gonna love going to the zoo. Like
right.
you hear stories of parents taking the dog to the farm.
Mm-hmm.
Or rehoming situations.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine.
I have a similar
I can't
story
imagine.
that when I was a kid, we were moving, and so my parents, we were moving somewhere where we couldn't have pets, and I don't know why we couldn't. But anyway, they were trying to find a home for our black cat Spooky. And they finally did. They found this family called the Spica family. And the Spica family, they told me, took in our little Spooky and that she was going to have a great rest of her life with the Spica family. When I was 18, I was talking about that and I was like, what kind of a last name is Spica?
Yeah.
Like, where does that come from? And they died laughing. They're like, you've never gotten that? And I said, no. And they said, the SPCA.
Stop.
They took her to the SPCA. They told me it was the Spica family the whole time.
Oh, that's so good. It says here, though, the online call for pet donations is accompanied by a picture of a wild cat baring its teeth with its mouth wide open and a link to the zoo's website, noting the facility is also interested in receiving horses. So, I guess it's just an all call for
Horses
any
for
extra
food?
pets.
I guess probably for the lions and so forth. But first they'll euthanize them.
Gently and kindly, they said. It'll be very kind euthanasia.
Yes.
I'm not buying that completely since they have an all call for your small and large pets. Any excess horse. If you have an extra horse at home, just call the Denmark Zoo.
Amy has replied with, okay, Amy DeRocher, who comments almost daily, will they take 3 barking dachshunds who refuse to be potty trained? Asking for a friend.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. There are families who are watching right now, moms who are like, oh my gosh, if I could find a way to get rid of XYZ pet that my kid has brought home, that Santa brought.
Those are her dogs.
No, those little angels.
Yes, they look at Ben. He's right in the middle. He's got one blue eye. These are her dogs, and they're super cute. But yes, they are little barkers. Ben is sweet to me. Ishii, Ben, and Lil Bit and Ishii aren't the sweetest, but Ben is super nice.
And that's about the size of a tiger snack.
Yeah,
just one little chew.
They're very expensive too. She's had to take them to the vet to have their teeth removed. They're always there, and so that's where the majority of her paycheck goes.
Well,
is her 3 little babies.
She can find this article and link straight to the website.
Send them to Denmark, where they will be peacefully euthanized. That's
yes.
Anyway,
okay, this next story, it's a little frightening. It's a little frightening for people who are into horror and fear and fright. So we spoke about it I think earlier this week, but comedian Matt Rife, I hope I got his name right, and YouTuber, not even going to try his name, but they've purchased a second haunted house. So this time they are purchasing the Conjuring house. Um, Apparently, it is known for a lot of paranormal activity and investigations, and he and his partner have actually already shot film in this home before, but this time they've purchased it to add to their collection of spooky houses.
There's the Annabelle doll.
Yes. Earlier, we told you about the Annabelle doll, as well as the house that they're going to turn into a museum where soon you'll be able to have an overnight stay. You'll pay to get scared at this house. Blows my mind that people do that, but apparently the Conjuring house is also added to their list of collection of spooky places. D'Anthony, though, is our in-house spook, fright, fear, and joy guy. Do you know anything about the Conjuring house, D'Anthony?
I actually don't. Well, that's where they stored the Annabelle doll.
Well, the Annabelle doll was from a different collection.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
So here's what happened. Matt Rife and his friend, it looks like YouTuber Elton Cassie, they bought the Annabelle collection, which included 750 artifacts of demonic and haunted items that this couple had been collecting forever and ever and ever. The Annabelle doll inspired the movie The Conjuring. So now they're buying the house from the movie The Conjuring. And I guess they're going to move all this Annabelle stuff to this house and have a full-blown demonic house where you can stay the night. How fun.
Yeah.
D'Anthony, would you do that?
No.
Not even you. Not even you. D'Anthony loves all things horror related.
That's a little too real for me.
Yeah. Well, because this paranormal investigator spent time with the Annabelle doll when it was on tour, and he died unexpectedly. And so that's really brought attention to this Annabelle doll. Can we go back to the video? Because in one shot, I don't know if we have it today, but in one shot, she was closed in glass, and it said, "Do not open." This is Matt Rife here.
Okay.
It said, "Do not open." Like, positively never open this doll. And I bet you they do. What do you want to bet they do?
Well, in the doll, if I remember from the previous story, it was on tour, and I guess it had a handler. Whoever the handler was with the doll died.
There it is. See, positively
Why
do not
it was in charge of, babysitting said doll. So
That's
it's just
scary
crazy to me that they are bringing this upon themselves again. But I am paranoid about it, but paranormal activity is pretty popular.
Yeah, this house is in Rhode Island that they're buying from the movie The Conjuring. And so that is just, I totally believe in demonic spirits. And so and angels, spiritual warfare type stuff. But I think that's inviting terrible, terrible things into your life that could be lifelong.
Would you go stay there? If
me, absolutely not.
If we worked a deal and we're like, okay, we're gonna go, you get to go, and you're gonna tour it for us. Would you go?
For how many millions of dollars would I be getting if I did this?
Do it. Why not?
I thought you said you wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't stay there. I'm not sleeping there. No way.
Oh, well, that's what I thought you meant. So
but
you just mean going just to tour it.
Yeah, I want to see what this is about, because I think it's a bunch of hoo-ha.
Okay. D'Anthony doesn't agree with you.
You just jinxed yourself, Jack.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on it?
I think these guys are not smart. That's a nice way of saying it. They're not smart.
Right.
And this comedian, he's just known, like, Matt Reeves, he's known as like the pretty boy, and just like, oh yeah, girls like me and they come to my show and I talk about it and all that. But I didn't know he was into paranormal like that. I didn't know. He just became instantly cool now.
Okay.
But then now he's like dumb. So he was cool, now he's dumb I think he's just gonna buy every paranormal,
I do too,
like, item or like house or something. I don't know, but I have a funny theory that they're making a documentary, because he just teamed up with a YouTuber, so most likely there's gonna be like an hour YouTube video about, like, oh yeah, it'd be funny if we like bought all these houses, right? And then I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. But
yeah, and just for likes and views and subscribe.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then is it worth it? And also, I wonder how much they paid for it because it doesn't say how much they paid for the house
Mhm.
plus the collection. Um, so,
I'm sure we'll find
will they
out.
make
I'm
it back?
sure
I
we'll
know that
find out.
being a YouTuber is pretty lucrative. So I'm sure he'll get more views and likes now because everyone's
Mhm.
going to want to know what's going to
Yeah, what
happen.
are you gonna do with this house?
Are you
This
going to become
collection?
possessed? You know,
Time will tell.
time will tell.
Well, not if, when.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Are you guys into art?
totally, totally into art.
You
Yep.
love art. What kind of art do you like?
So I like all types. This story is cool to me. I've actually painted several murals and worked on a lot of large scale projects. And Oklahoma City is home to a very large mural collection, and some similar to this one.
So yeah, we're talking about murals being painted on silos in the U.S. But before we get to that, what kind of large scale projects have you been involved with?
So, Fields and Futures, a nonprofit in town that does a lot of improvements and upgrades to the high school. I hope I get this right. High school sporting facilities, thinking baseball dugouts, softball dugouts, and just general fitness areas. I've done a lot of the mural work in those dugouts.
That's very cool.
Yeah,
My daughter Briar, while in AP art in high school, they got to go inside the Edmond Animal Shelter and paint murals on the insides of the walls of
that's
different
awesome.
cats on towers and different things like that. It was super
Yeah.
cool, such a neat experience. But yeah, so you being into art and especially
Mhm.
murals, you'll, like you said, you'll like this next story because an Australian artist is painting huge murals in silos across the U.S. A huge grain elevator and
Mhm.
silo in North Dakota are the site right now. Wow. Okay. So
Yeah.
you also used to work at the
Yes.
former silo, which is
Yes.
now downtown OKC, the climbing facility, indoor climbing.
Mhm.
So you know how big these things are.
I do, and they have a mural, and their facility looks just like this. This looks like what I used to know as OKC Rocks, and then Rocktown, and then it became Climb Up, and I don't know what variation of the name they have right now, but yes, massive, massive murals, and it takes so much time if you could because they a lot of times will stencil it up.
Oh, look at
And
that. That's
so
cool.
the stencils will be 5 foot by 5 foot panels that you then have to rig and rappel and do a lot of climbing, you know, to get up there to be able to do these massive
Look at
murals.
his oh, when it shows him again, look at his pants. He's covered in paint.
Covered in paint. Yeah,
Yeah,
I have a lot.
do you?
I have lots of outfits just like that.
I have painting outfits, like whenever we paint walls or whatever.
Hmm.
It always ends up on you. It looks nothing like that. But this is going to be super cool when it's finished here in North Dakota. So they
So
take
cool.
pictures and then transfer the pictures into artwork onto the walls with such a huge canvas. Can you imagine all the detail that has to go into that to
I
make it
can.
look so realistic like it is?
It's awesome. Very impressive. And I think the story said it was going to cost about $350,000. Can you but you think about it, how many gallons of paint this takes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hundreds of gallons of paint. And so he's doing this all through donations.
Hmm.
And he's been working on the project for over a year now. And I believe it. A lot of man hours go into this because thinking about the surface, even you can't apply the paint if it's too cold or too hot. So there's a lot of variables with the environment that go into doing these massive public pieces.
Hmm. Yeah, just amazing artwork. My parents raised me going to different museums and so forth. So
Hmm.
I like, Monet. I've actually been to his house.
Wow.
And so yeah, just super cool things like that. I love the Museum of Art, the Dale Chihuly art collection or the
Hmm.
blown glass that they have. Just so I like all different kinds. I've never partaken in a mural and there's no way that I ever could. I can draw stick figures, but I do
Yeah.
appreciate looking at them. But yeah, he's got a fancy name. He's from Australia, Guido van Helten.
I'm glad you got that one because I was really avoiding having to pronounce his name because that was a tongue tire for me. But he's doing these across the U.S. Midwest. Like you said, he is from Australia, but also he has murals around the world, it says.
Right.
So I think
In
it's just
Denmark.
awesome.
That
Yeah.
one's there in Denmark. So if you want your silo painted,
Mhm.
there's probably a long wait list and you're going to have to come up with some
Yeah.
donations, but you might hit up Guido van Helten. Just
Mhm.
search for him and you'll be able to find him. Okay,
Very cool.
when we come back, I mean, everybody loves ice cream, but
Yeah.
Holy
that.
cow! This next flavor that they're bringing to
Mm-hmm.
a specific brand, it's breast milk flavored.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if I'd feel comfortable trying that, but we're going to talk
No.
about it when we come back.